It reminds me of Wakita.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's scopier than her.
Yeah.
And she's just so brave.
Yeah.
The bold.
You can be honest.
The worst is if you were to call them all Taylor Swift names.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry, I got mad as well. I sometimes forget you guys don't hear what's going on in my ear, so you sort of go off and do something.
Everyone's ready to tag.
Hey, yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
go.
1, 2, 3. Yeah, nice name already.
I wonder what he has written down there as my only.
The mic actually isn't on.
All right, let's go.
That would be the problem.
Yep, up the shirt.
Come on, Steve. Haven't you done this before?
Well, I just sort of,
my fault.
everything was being dressed. I never even crossed my. Should we try that again? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Run to the hills. That's a good one. How her slave.
Hello and welcome to WEF Weekly. We roll into week 2 of competition here for the Winter Equestrian Festival. A fantastic week behind us as well. We bring you reviews of that. We look ahead this week. We're out on the big, beautiful grass arena as well for the WeatherTech Grand Prix. We've got dressage, we've got hunters, a little bit of everything. Welcome to WEF Weekly. Welcome to the Winter Equestrian Festival, now well underway with our first big Saturday night behind us in terms of Grand Prix. Already big results in the books, and we'll be talking a lot of those here through today and the coming weeks as well. Lots to look forward to this week as we head out onto the beautiful grass arena. But of course, all of the showground is in action. This week we are at full run, full capacity, full steam ahead for Wellington International 2025. Lots to come up this week as we head on to the Grand Prix in full force. And our Week 2 Grand Prix sponsor is WeatherTech. And at WeatherTech, their high-performance solutions are designed to protect your vehicle from damage no matter what you drive. Visit WT.com to find your fit today. And our streaming throughout that you can follow all the big competitions here in Wellington on is brought to you by Dodd Technologies, our partner in engineering extraordinary experiences since 1983, and discover how they elevate sports, entertainment and corporate events at Dodd Technologies. And our programmes each week are presented by USEF, the presenting sponsor of our live stream, in part with support of US Equestrian Federation and the USEF network as well. So it is all of the week to look forward to, and as I say, much in review as well for the Winter Equestrian Festival. Feels a little bit chilly today, but again, compared to many parts of the world, we will take it right now. It's looking good, it's dry, it's clear, and we are looking ahead for some amazing weeks of competition here in Wellington as well, because we've got lots of big news coming up for you too this week, as well as we look forward to the coming week Grand Prix and a rise in the prize money. And the Lugano Diamonds Grand Prix is going up to $500,000. So more on the table there for the big 5-star on what is our Week 7 Lugano Diamonds Grand Prix. But that is not all. 2 weeks later, $500,000 Grand Prix for the Bainbridge Company's Grand Prix as well. So thank you to both those sponsors who are putting even more into the lineup for those big Grand Prix. So 2 Grand Prix for $500,000, and the Rolex US Equestrian Open 5-star Grand Prix, part of our Rolex series now, is going up to $750,000 in terms of prize fund. So a massive list on the big 5-star Grand Prix coming up from Week 7 onwards as well. We've got lots of prize money in the pot for those to compete for as well over the coming weeks too. So that is all exciting news for you, but lots of news that's come from around the rings as well. WEF 1 in the books. And as I say, it is not only the big competitions in the international arena we've been looking at, we've also had competition around the whole of the ground. So let's take a look at who some of our winners were there as well out there on the grounds. What is it? 12 rings plus have been in big competition as well. So everything from the Pony Hunt and Go Derby, won by Lily Ward, no less. Daughter of McLean was in action with Woodlands Corduroy claiming the win down there, picking up the ribbons there very nicely down the rings as well, getting a little bit of training. Congratulations. Looks like Jimmy Teran down there and the rest of the family all joining in. We moved up to the $30,000 KPKC Grand Prix as well. And it is Mark Blumen with SNL, the combination Maracana, that were the winners there for Colombia, claiming the CPKC Grand Prix. Dressage as well, the first of our 4 World Cup qualifiers taking place here in Wellington this year. And it was Germany with the first, the wins. Felicitas Hendricks at that point in the test in second place, moved up to first place with a final score of 78.2, with Germany the first win on the cards. 3 more World Cups to come on those Friday night competitions as well. The target there, as you saw, 77.28 at that point. And that was actually set by Adrian Lyle and Helix, who was going to finish into second place in the end. And for them, taking the US squad into second place for them. Again, another regular and a great one to see out on the big nights there. And Taylor Williamson-Sullivan finishing into third place as well. We're getting lots of what happened last week as well here in Wellington with my three guests who all played their part in competition here last week too. And delighted to say Roberto Teran, representing Colombia. Roberto, on the back of 2 wins last week. It wasn't a bad week at the office, was it?
It was a great week. Any win here is amazing, and I had 2 last week, and I'm very excited.
Charlotte Jacobs, top 5 in the Grand Prix, then followed it up with a great result as well on the Sunday Hermes Classic as well. You're straight into top gear.
Yeah, it's a great start to season. It's how we wanted to start, so I'm excited for the rest of the year.
And our Saturday night star, Nayel Nassar. Nayel, for you, ESI Ali landed the knockout blow in the Grand Prix there as well for you. How does it feel? Because that's what your first Saturday night win.
It was my first Saturday night win here at Wellington. Yeah, it always feels great to win here, especially early on in the season. It kind of motivates you for the rest of the way. So yeah, we're excited.
You're going to be looking forward to, well, all looking forward to those big Grand Prix. Move up in the prize money in the Grand Prix there. That's welcome news.
It's fantastic. Yeah, I think it's great. And the sponsors getting behind the sport and giving us more to jump for. This is one of the toughest places to jump, and I think the prize money should reflect that.
Excellent. Charlotte, that puts a bit more on the table as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's exciting, and the sponsors are fantastic to move up the prize money like they did, so we're looking forward to it.
Roberto, you've been second in the Rolex Grand Prix before now. We're going to talk about that later on. 750,000 on that this year. That's going to make it even more appetizing.
Yes, of course. It's one of the toughest Grand Prix of the year, and we need to be jumping for that kind of money here.
Looking forward to it. Let's reflect, Nayel, from your point of view on the Grand Prix last week, from the Southern Arches Grand Prix success for you, up against some chap called McLean Ward.
Who's that guy?
Who's that guy? High star hero on this occasion. We've got a head-to-head of the two of you. Nayel, talk me through a little of your round, because you were basically stride for stride in terms of numbers all the way around.
So coming to this third jump here is one place where I managed to leave one out from McLean's round. I think he ended up on 11 and I ended up on 10. Everywhere else we pretty much matched each other's numbers. But Ali is just naturally such a quick horse. High Star Hero looks like he does spend a little more time in the air than my guy does. This was probably the hardest part of the course. That vertical came down a lot, and this was a tricky angle to nail the Liverpool Oxer with. And then I managed to get the leave out home pretty easily, which surprised me. I mean, this horse doesn't have a ton of experience under lights, so you know, we felt like he was ready for it. But again, you never really know what to expect until you've thrown them in there, and he was unbelievable.
I was going to say, what were your expectations going into the jump off at that stage? You know,
I mean, he is a fast horse, and we've had success in jump offs before, so I knew it was all within reach. You just, you know, with it being a first time and with McLean going so fast, I just wasn't really sure if it was going to be quick enough to actually catch him. But the plan worked out pretty well. I felt like I went to my horse's strengths in all the places where there were risks to be taken, and we came out on top.
Nick Granick, our course designer last week, put some really interesting tests for you in there. As you talked about that cathedral vertical on the roll back there was a real sort of, you really got to be on your balance at that point.
Exactly. It was like kind of a slaloming line, and if you angled that vertical too much, it put you on a ridiculous angle turning back to the Oxer. So you kind of had to play your strengths a little bit, not take too much of a gamble, or it put you in really tough spots for the following jumps.
And how much, as you say, it gives you a nice confidence boost to start the season from that point of view. But you've got a good string of horses to go to this year.
I do, but I'm not deluding myself either. It's week one. Like there's, you know, a lot of the top riders haven't brought out their best horses yet. Not everybody's in full swing. So yeah, it's a nice win, but I'm not going to convince myself that this is how it's going to go the rest of the way.
What I found really interesting being on the grounds earlier today was watching a $2,500 135 in the international ring, and there's Henrik von Eckermann, and there's a whole list of the five-star horses jumping in there. There's Harry Charles, there's all that group in there.
Yeah.
It was just quite interesting to see, as you say, we're just getting going.
It's week one, yeah. In theory, this should be the easiest week, right? Even from a course builder's perspective, you know, I expect the courses to get bigger and tougher and wider and more technical as the circuit goes on. It makes sense.
It does. Well, congratulations. Regardless,
Okay.
it wasn't easy. It
Thanks.
wasn't easy. Charlotte, from your point of view, a super week for you. What, 4th place in that Grand Prix there as well. You finished superbly in the Holiday and Horses Grand Prix, same
Yeah.
place here back in November with Playboy.
Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit about that.
Yeah, hopefully I'll have a podium soon, but I'm sort of sitting in 4th and 5th now. No, I thought Saturday night was really exciting. My horse is 10, just like Nayel's, and I thought it was a nice Grand Prix for him to get into the big ring under the lights Saturday night. It's a different atmosphere here completely from other places, so really wanted him to go in and have a positive experience. In the jump off, I had to go a little bit early. I went 4th. I just tried to stick to my numbers. My horse maybe doesn't have the same sort of foot speed, and you know, these guys are just such fast riders. Yeah, so I tried to use his stride to my advantage and just do the best I can. I thought he jumped 2 incredible rounds.
I think you're the only one who did 9 rolling back to
Yeah,
this double
I did
here,
9
right?
back
Yeah.
to the double. I was pretty brave there, and he really stuck with me. He's such an honest horse, and I think he's a horse with a really big future. He just felt fantastic on Saturday night, and I was really happy that his first Saturday Night Lights went the way it did, and I was happy with 4th place. Should have done 8 strides to the last jump, but again, we'll learn and hopefully fix it the next time around.
I love that. I was happy with 4th place. What I should have done is
But I should have fixed it. Yeah, no, but it was, I mean, it was going to be tough to catch Nayel and McLean and even Markey on Saturday night, so we'll take it and we'll learn and we'll go to the next one.
Yeah, I mean, Mark Bloomer was in there. He won the National Grand Prix, the CP Grand Prix here last week as well. I mean, we made various comments about how he goes against the clock.
Very fast.
I mean,
very fast.
Do you wait for him and go, okay, let's see what he does?
Yeah, you sort of hold your breath when Markey goes in the ring. You know he's going to go for it. There's no class that Markey doesn't try to win, whether it's the 130, like you said, on a Wednesday, or if it's the Saturday night Grand Prix, and it was the same thing with the 150 on Sunday. So he's a quick rider. Yeah.
For you, Thomas Court Ballypatrick
Yeah.
into that MS Classic on
Yeah.
Sunday as well. I know you have much shorter names for your horses.
Yeah.
Fill me in.
So that's Merv, but he was 3rd. He's a 10-year-old. Most of my horses are around that age that I have here this year. But I was really happy with him. He's a horse that I've sort of challenged to go against the clock now a few times, and he's really getting it, and it's really clicking. And I thought he jumped great on Sunday. He jumped the first round easy, and then the jump off, he was very competitive. So I was thrilled. I got Markey that day though. So
You got
he
Markey
was 4th
there.
and I was
Yeah.
3rd. So
He's not
we swapped.
unbeatable. You
No.
can get him.
I
You
got
can get
him. Still didn't win, but I got him.
Roberto, you've bested him a couple of times, and probably vice versa. In terms of competition last week, let's talk a little bit of that from your point of view, and your horse Iron Maiden, because the greys sort of really come into the limelight now, the spotlight.
He's also 10.
Yeah.
He's a little green at that level. He had a great summer last year. He's very quick. He's very naturally smooth and quick off the ground. And he won the WEF.
Yes.
I got a little lucky because I had one rail the first round.
Under the new winning round
I
format.
love the format of the winning round this week.
Let's have a little look from the Grand Prix, because then you were into the jump off in the Grand Prix as well.
Yes, and he was super relaxed and smooth in the first round. And being last in the jump off, I think I put a little more pressure than I should have in the first 3 jumps, and I got him a little tense. And in the roll back to that vertical, the last vertical before the last line, I didn't get the distance that I loved for him. I needed to wait too much, and I had it down.
But again, that's part of the learning experience, isn't it?
Of course.
And exactly what Nayel's saying is, we're into week 1. What am I finding out?
Exactly. And I knew he was fast enough to be in the podium. Of course, I wanted to beat these guys, but I was happy with the podium. And I just put a little too much pressure in the first part of the jump off.
What's he like to ride? What's he like personality-wise, a horse? Because he looks very easy. He looks a really classic type.
He's a dream. He's kind. He's very sensitive. He wants to work every day. He has no perks. He's very, very straightforward and just a good horse.
Just like you guys. we mentioned the Rolex Grand Prix in there. You've been second in that going back to 2023, Des Tough, which you were talking to me a little bit earlier on, is a horse that's going to be coming out in the next few weeks as well.
Yes, this is coming. He showed in California in December. Now he's coming out next week, and the plan for him is to do a couple of 5 stars in February and the other 2 5 stars in March. He feels great. He's not a young horse anymore, but he's in top form, and I think he's going to have a few double clears in those Grand Prix.
Yeah, he's what, 17 now?
17.
17, but still going strong, which is great.
Really strong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for you, I mean, he's a horse that took you through to the Olympic Games as well.
Yes,
So
he went
I mean,
to Tokyo. He went to Denmark.
Yeah.
He has gone to Aachen twice with me. This year we were a little unlucky and we didn't go to Paris, but I think I have a few more years of him doing good 5 stars.
And that's the thing, and it's all about horse management now, isn't it? When you're getting into that stage, 17 plus, because horses can go on beyond that.
Exactly. After he finishes each year, I take the shoes off. I let him rest a little, let him be a horse, and in between shows, when we are going all the time, the jumping is minimum. We just have to keep them in shape and happy and pain-free and
let him be himself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He knows his job, and I think he's feeling great.
Nayel, you've had horses as well, going through Laudan and many others that you were able to keep running for quite a while. Again, it's talking to them, really, isn't it?
Absolutely, and I think you're seeing it more and more nowadays. The horse care, the management has gotten so good at the high level that horses do jump until they're 16, 17, 18, and they jump better than they did when they were 12, right? So I think it's a testament to the direction the sport has been taking and the emphasis we've been placing on horse welfare and longevity. And they're paying us back in a great way. Having horses compete in their late teens is special, and it's not easy to do.
And Charlotte, you're one that loves to get a partnership early on with 5-year-olds plus. So to have for you 10, 12, 13, 14 years with a horse is a big partnership.
No, it's amazing, and hopefully I have that longevity with the horses that I have now. Like I said, mine are all sort of just up and coming these last few years, but I have had them since they were young horses, and I'm jumping a horse this week that I've had since he was 5, and I mean, I said, like, it's feels like he's still 5, but he's 9 now, so it's like, okay, you're a grown up, like, let's go.
You're
time
not a
to
kid
go.
anymore.
Yeah, but again, hopefully you do see them through to those late teen years. I mean, see Rockefeller this year. I think he won 2 5-star Grand Prix.
Yes.
So I mean,
He's it was 19, so he's 20
19.
now and still
incredible.
going.
So
Yeah.
And the technology with our vet care also plays a huge role. There's a lot of things
And
we
the
can solve.
farriers,
We can solve now that we couldn't solve 10 years ago.
And understand the horses from that point
Absolutely.
of view.
Yeah.
And, Roberto, from your side of things, as you say, you're now building that next generation. I mean, Des Tough is an Olympic horse now moving on with what's going to come next, kind of thing. And Iron Maiden hopefully slots into that slot.
Yes, of course. I have that one. I have one that is 12 called DSP Calas that she jumped some big classes already. And I have 2 really nice 9-year-olds coming along that they look scopy, careful, and what we're looking for. And we're just waiting for the next string to support the older ones.
Let them go. Nayel, from your point of view, horses like Igor, that you've been on the podium here. Last year we were on the podium here in the 5-star Grand Prix as well. What, week 9 from that point of view? Again, 7, 9, one of the weeks. But from your point of view, we'll take a little look back at some of that as well. But what that's like to get out there on a horse that, I mean, you've competed this horse through to Tokyo as well, to Olympics.
I mean, my partnership with Igor is special. We've been together for over 4 years now. And he's just a very unique horse. Just seeing him on the screen kind of puts a smile on my face. His head is so high. He's got his own kind of shuffly canter, but he's a fighter and he's got so much will. And I think nowadays that goes a lot further than quality or carefulness, scope. They have to want to do it, and they have to want to work every day so that you can improve them. I think their work ethic is just as important as their physical abilities, so that us as riders have a chance to improve the horses. And so, it was an interesting journey with Igor. He's going to make his season debut in a couple of weeks, hopefully. So we're excited to have him back. He's 17. He had a minor injury last summer, so he's had the first break in his career, I think.
Yeah.
So as you can imagine, he's pretty crazy these days. He's chomping at the bit. He's kind of ready to get going. We have a new flat rider, actually, Max, and he was flatting him around, and he asked me, he's like, is he always like this? Really, once you get going, he settles down into his job, but he's just, he's chomping at the bit these days. He hasn't been doing so much, and he feels good in his body. So again, an older partnership. He's going to be 17 this year, so I'm excited to get him back going. He loves this ring. He loves Saturday nights, so it'd be special to be able to get going again.
He says, "Go." And it's fascinating when you see some, retired horses that are in their 20s that are sitting in the field, and they see the truck going off, and they're like, "Am I going? Am I going?" Because they've loved it so much.
It's ingrained in them. They've been doing it their whole careers, right? So, yeah.
You mentioned there, Max, but you have a big team in terms of a work team, but in terms of you and the family are all involved in the sport as well and being supported.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. It's wonderful to be able to share this passion with people you care about. Obviously, my wife is a huge supporter and a big fan of the sport and a great athlete herself. But there's a lot that keeps the machine kind of going. You know, we have a really strong team at home of riders, of barn managers, of caretakers for the horses, and we've got a big office team too. I mean, it's a big thing to be able to jump around and kind of pop all over the world with these horses to try to compete. And so we're really grateful to have that. And I'm sure it's the same for everyone sitting
Well,
there.
I was going to say, Charlotte, you very much, it's a family business. You know, your father and your mum's been involved all the way through. Your uncle's competing here when he can as well. He's got quite serious jobs as well to do between that. Give us a little bit of the background of that.
Yeah, I mean, my dad was a top rider, and he balanced, the work, and even when he was back in school, he balanced college, and then he balanced business school, and then he eventually went to the workforce, and he rode as well. So, and at a very high level. I mean, won the Hamburg Derby, won the Nations Cup at Aka, and did all the big things that I think we all aspire to do. And he did it with a full-time job, and yeah, I mean, we're so lucky that we all get to do it together. I mean, I think 99.9% of the time that I'm in the ring, my parents are there watching. Definitely one of them, 100% of the time. They're always one of them is there. And it's really nice, and we get to spend so much time together. And I just got married about a year and a half ago, and my husband also is involved, and he manages everything and trains me, and we're really, really tight-knit, and we have an incredible team of grooms, and like he said, office people at home. I mean, the team is big. There's a reason why, everything gets put together for these big moments, and why it works, and it's because of everybody behind the scenes, and of course Greg Broderick and Brian Cassidy, who I work with in Ireland. They're fantastic. So yeah, a lot of things to keep
and
the wheels
Greg's out
turning.
here, I think, this week.
He gets here on Friday.
Yeah, excellent.
Yeah.
There you go. Keep him going.
Yes.
Roberto, give us a little bit of your family, because I think your father competed, correct?
Yes. Actually, my grandfather founded the first equestrian club in Colombia 70 years ago with the cavalry.
Okay.
Wow.
My dad was an FEI vet and an FEI rider. He went to Aachen in 1986. And my uncles on my mom's side, one is an FEI course designer, the other one was an FEI judge. Then we have horses all over the family forever. And after university, I came to the States in 2000 to get going with the sport. I had a really successful career as a FEI, children's, juniors, and young riders. But I wanted to do this for a living, and that's why I came to the States to try to find sponsors for the big sport.
And it worked out quite well.
Yes, it has been a long journey, but it has been going great.
And do you, I mean, a bit like you talk about the horses still feeling like they're 5 and they're 9 by this point. We're in a sport where you can carry on and carry on. It's one of those that you can get up every morning no matter what and go, I've got 20 years experience. I've got another 20 years in this sport yet.
Yes.
How do you feel about that?
No, thank you so much for calling me old.
No, you're not.
But it feels great. It feels great. My goal is to do a few more Olympics.
Yes.
And yes, when you're in your 40s, you have enough experience, and I feel great physically. Then I think the next years to come are going to be my best.
Absolutely. Well, if we take a look at our sport, the average of some of the best ones are into their 50s yet. So you've got a bit to go yet from that point of view.
Exactly.
From all of you, we've got some questions to bring you as well. From that point of view, we've been talking to our various members of the public out on social media. So we're going to throw you some questions. Roberto, I'm going to come to you first. And the first question up, let's take a look at this one. And how do you prepare your horses for a show, and what is the post-ride care like? How does that feel? What's the routine?
Okay, for when you are showing all the time, the week before the show, my guys do just a little gymnastic. We keep them fit. We make sure they're not too fresh to start the show, because if you have a horse too fresh, then you have to work him too hard in the beginning of the week, and it's not ideal for Saturday night or for the Grand Prix day. After we show, the horses get ice, they get all the blankets, they get some body care, like most of them. And the day after, I usually ride them light, because I want to see their sound and everything is looking good, and to really make sure the lactic acid in the muscles is moving along. And then we let them rest a little for the next show to come.
And that's the thing, people don't realize how much it's science and feeling.
Of course. And I always like to exercise them the day after of the Grand Prix, to make sure they're feeling good, and to see if we have to call the vet, or to see what adjustments we have to do, because we are going fast and we're jumping big.
Yeah, well, they get the best care, that's the great thing. Let's go to your second question that we've got here. Let's bring that one up for you. How are you training to aim for LA 28, the next Olympic Games? We've just mentioned that.
Yeah. Okay, we already started here this winter, just giving the younger horses a little experience and to see what they need for the future. My plan in the summer is hopefully do Aachen again, and a couple of big shows in Europe. And a big goal of my team for this year is to do the Masters in Spruce Meadows at the end of the summer. Then I think I'm going to go a couple of weeks there, and I think it's really good training to jump big and good courses. Then that's depending on how the summer goes. That's my first step this year to looking forward for 2028.
And as you say, you've got what, two good 9-year-olds, 10-year-old
Exactly.
in there, so they're the perfect age to be aiming towards that.
Of course, my first goal before that is to go to the World Equestrian
Champions.
Games in Aachen in next year.
2026,
Exactly.
absolutely. That's going to be upon us before we even know it.
Yeah.
Okay, and your third and final question, totally unrelated but related. What's your favourite Iron Maiden song in honour of our horse out there?
I don't know too many Iron Maiden songs. One of my owners, the owner of Iron Maiden,
Yes.
Jasmine Talley, names their horses after bands.
Yeah.
That's why he's called Iron Maiden, and he's a gelding, he's not a mare. And but we're talking with the staff, and Run to the Hills is one of the songs that seems to be very popular.
There we go.
Yes.
That keep up with the
That
gallop.
could be one of my favorites.
But you've got another horse called Santana, and I'm guessing there's going to be a few more bad names.
Santana, Rolling Stones,
Yeah.
Rammstein,
Yeah.
Arctic Monkeys that I'm not very familiar with, but that one is too. I have Nirvana, AC/DC. We have a bunch.
You have a bunch. There we go. We hadn't quite twigged that now.
Metallica, yeah.
Now we know. Metallica. Okay,
Yeah.
great. Charlotte, your turn. No Iron Maiden questions. You're safe.
Okay, good.
This one is our first one up. Let's take a look at this one. And this is from Alexa Pessoa, actually. Are you going in the Grand Prix on Sunday or to the Bills game on Sunday? Which is more important to you? This is the key.
They're both very important to me. I will hopefully be jumping the Grand Prix on Sunday. Granted, I qualify, but hopefully I will. And if I do,
Phone in hand.
yeah, I will be. Yeah, phone in hand. Luckily, the game's not till 6:30, so I'll be able to go home and prepare myself for the game and watch. Hopefully, have a positive outcome. But if I don't qualify for the Grand Prix, I will definitely be at the Bills game in Buffalo. Freezing, but I'll be there and I'll be happy.
Excellent. Let's take a look at your next question, which is from Daniel Suarez Ziragori. What are the main characteristics you look for in a horse and why?
For me, a good brain, good balance, good heart, scope, careful. I think, brain and balance and heart are three of the most important things. You heard Nayel talk about Igor, and he has sort of his own way of going. I have a similar horse like that, Rinkula Milshon. Definitely has his own way, own flat work at home, own way about, his work and how we treat him, and he is one of the best horses I've ever had.
I was going to ask you about him because unfortunately got an injury in September, so he's been off. How's he doing? Because we had lots of questions on how he's doing.
Yeah, no, he's doing really well. He's making his comeback, so we're really excited. Hopefully by the summer we'll have him back in action. But yeah, he's doing really well. So thank you everybody for asking.
Excellent, good. Final question for you comes from Kalara MNC, to take the Instagram name. And what makes Pete special for you in your eyes? Pete being Playboy.
Yeah, I think he's such a special horse. I mean, for all the reasons I just listed, he's scope, he's super careful, he has a great brain, he's brave, he's honest, he's kind. I could keep going, but I saw him as a 5-year-old. Greg saw him as a 5-year-old, and we tried him. And I wasn't looking for a 5-year-old at that time, and so I actually passed on him. And then about 4 months later, we were at a horse show in Cavan in Ireland, and my dad saw him, and my dad actually walked into the warm-up to Greg and was like, that's one of the nicest 5-year-olds I've ever seen in my life. Then he wasn't for sale for a few years, and finally when he was 8, they decided to sell him at the end of his 8-year-old year, and I was lucky enough to purchase him. So
the best things come to those who wait.
Yeah,
so there you go.
Yeah.
Nayel, let's roll into your questions from your point of view. Lots of lovely, friendly questions for you as well from lots of fans out there. One of which was, what is your future big goal in horses? My brother Nayel.
My brother. Big goals upcoming, I would say probably the World Championships in Aachen in 2026. Granted, this year we're still going to target some big Grand Prix, maybe go up to Spruce, maybe go back to Europe, maybe try to take some of those horses who have a chance to go to the World Championships next year, try to take them to Aachen this year so that they can get that experience. But I'd say, my next big goal is the World Championships, and then, of course, LA 2028.
And pick off a few Saturday nights.
Ideally, yes. Yeah.
Let's take a look at your second question. Nice, easy one. You might not remember this. What age did you start riding?
Oh, boy. I think I started taking probably weekly lessons when I was 5 or 6 at like a local riding school in Kuwait, the Kuwait Riding Center. Shout out to KRC.
Yeah.
And it started just kind of as something to do for fun that my brother and I did. And then by the time I was 8, 9, I would say is when I started like jumping and competing a little bit and having some real fun.
And now we're where we are.
And look where we are.
Now where we are. Let's take a look at your final question, which comes from Coco Pops 2013. You're a great inspiration to my kid, they say. He's a beginner rider. Any advice for him? We're proud of you. Go Egypt.
That's very sweet. Advice for younger riders, I would say to just try to learn as much as you can. Put yourself out there. Go ask riders questions. I mean, I know it's intimidating, but most of us will actually respond and help out in whatever way we can. I think we're here to be resources for the next generation of riders. So put yourself out there, and most importantly, always put the horse first, right? Treat your horse with respect and kindness. I think that goes a long way in learning about horsemanship and learning to be the rider that you want to be.
Brilliant.
Cool.
Great. You survived.
Oh, great.
You all survived the questions. Let's just reflect on this week before we bring things to a close of a big week ahead of us, because we are back on the grass out on that wonderful arena as well. Of course, the main international arena here is going to be in action as well, but the international competition takes place over on the turf this week. Last year, it was Richard Vogel who was the winner of the Grand Prix there with Cedello, with an amazing flying finish there from that point of view. One that was certainly worth watching, and one that certainly set up for the rest of the season of what was a very big year for him, as well, as we've all been well documented in seeing. But a fantastic run with Cedello. Cedello, of course, is back with us. Richie's here with plenty of horses, which is great to see. We're joined by the likes of Christian Kukuk. Ben Mayer's been so successful in this Grand Prix over the years as well. Had several big wins with Tic Tac, and then as you can see from this one out on the grass, it gives you a chance to really rev things up, because this was the final
I was gonna
finish.
say, he won by a lot.
Yeah,
right?
he
That
won.
wasn't-
He
that wasn't
stormed
close.
it.
Okay, 3.5 seconds. Yeah. Checks
He
out.
stormed it. Will we see something similar? Who knows? Good luck to all those. But what's taking place this week? Thursday sees us into the 145 speed from that point of view. Friday will see us into the WEF Challenge Cups a little bit later than normal, because we start tomorrow out on the turf. Dodd Technologies class to start us off. Adequate WEF Challenge Cup takes place on the turf on Friday. We've got the meter 50 class as well. That's going to be on Saturday. MS Series $32,000 class, and of course the start of the Brain Juice U25 series as well. So the younger riders are in action too. They've got their welcome class to start off the weekend, and then after that they go into a Grand Prix on the Sunday as well. We've got a National Grand Prix for you as well, $50,000 Palm Beach Equine National Grand Prix too. And if that wasn't enough for you, we bring you the U25 Grand Prix 2 as well on Sunday, and that is again 31,000 just over for that, and the WeatherTech Grand Prix as well as our highlight of the 3-star week, $140,000 in the prize fund there over there on the wonderful turf. So great to see that. Of course, continued coverage of the International Ring, which you're seeing at the moment, is taking a little sleep overnight. Out on the Derby field, Grand Hunter is in action as well, as are that makes us something like 15 rings going now. I've lost slightly track at this point. All that can be watched on wellingtoninternational.com and USEF network as well. Follow through all of that. It remains to say thank you to my guests. Good luck. Well done.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Great start.
Thank you.
Looking forward to that. And I'm really looking forward to seeing Iron Maiden out again, Roberto.
Thank you so much for having me.
Fantastic. Good stuff. Good luck for the rest of the season. Let's just take you to the close of what is coming up. As I say, we've covered, and so we can settle in for a fantastic week ahead here. And just a reminder too, if you haven't visited yet, head over to the Wellington International Shop. You can do that online as well, wellington-internationalshop.com, for all your WEF merchandise there. And if you're on the site, it's just across from the Tiki Hut, so you can grab something to eat and go and have a good mooch around the shops there as well. Thank you to the USEF too, and our presenting sponsor of the live stream, in part with support through the US Equestrian Federation and USEF Network as well. And to Dodd Technologies, who bring us our live stream each week. Their partner in engineering extraordinary experiences since 1983, and discover how they elevate sports, entertainment and corporate events at their website too, which is Dodd Technologies. And of course our presenting sponsor of the Grand Prix this week, WeatherTech as well, and their high performance solution designed to protect your vehicle from damage no matter what you drive. Visit WT.com to find out your fit today. Thank you to my guests. Thank you to everybody that's going to be involved. We're going to bring you the action throughout. As I say, we'll be back on Saturday night with the National Grand Prix, Sunday Grand Prix as well. Lots to enjoy in between. It's WeatherTech Grand Prix week 2, and we are going to be jumping into that on week 2 of the Winter Equestrian Festival. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you during the week.